I'll put the link to this up here later on the document in case you want to get back to anything on here, although I don't know. There might be a couple of things. All right, so as I said, welcome to the main schools. We're going to talk a little bit about living in the Google ecosystem and what we've learned about that here in the main schools and kind of how it has impacted what we do around teaching and learning. So I'm Hank Thiele. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Technology and Learning here. I've been here for 8 years, and we've done a lot of cool stuff in 8 years. And we have a great set of teachers and students here that allow us to really do some crazy stuff and are very open to trying to new things, which has made this a great learning area for what we do. One of the things we pride ourselves on in this district is teachers leading teachers. We have a great staff, as I said, that really do a nice job of sharing what they've learned with their peers. And we'll get to that in a lot of different ways, but you'll see that theme running through what we do. So you found your way here, so that's where you are on the map, okay, next to O'Hare. But what I want to point out is that we're 3 high schools here in this district. Maine South is where you're at now, also Maine East and Maine West, all high schools ranging between 2,000 and 2,400 depending on the school that you're in. And what I want to talk about is really what our mission is here and kind of how Google fits into that. So the district's mission that's been in place for a very long time is to improve learning, which is, I really like that that's our mission because it gives us a wide range of things to do. As long as we're getting better, we're kind of working towards our mission. And one of the things that we started out when I got here in 2007 was that this was the goal that was set for us with technology, was that we would become an exemplar school district that for technology that was also a spotlight for other school districts. So you guys being here tonight joining us is part of that mission and path that we've been on, that folks would come here to learn about what we're doing with a variety of different things. So I know you can read this really well in the back, okay? But really what the vision was with technology to achieve this was really built around collaboration, sharing resources based around technology, and developing a meaningful staff development program. So let's get into the stuff that you really want to listen to here. So really what we built this around was students' needs first. So when we look at technology here, that's what we always try to start with, is how is this going to impact our kids? Okay, and then we build from there, from the kids to teachers, from teachers to the support staff, and ultimately the entire organization. So what we've tried to do is be forward thinking. I throw this slide up here just because I want you to think of what forward thinking means. Okay, this is, I tried to get one image that would kind of reflect technology since 2007 when we started making changes around here with teaching and learning and technology. So you can see the first year in 2007 when we started making these changes, the image that reflects that was the first iPhone. So in just 8 years, you know, now you're to wearable technology, okay? And that's just some snapshots of hardware stuff over that period. So that shows you how far you come in just that short period of like 7 or 8 years. So project out 7 or 8 years from now and predict the kinds of stuff that we're going to be messing around with, okay? So we try to put what we do around here in the perspective of things change quickly now in our classrooms and in society, and how do we reflect that with what we do? So one of the things that we're really focused on here is teachers getting better as teachers in their practice. So we do some really strong staff development things. I know some of the folks in the room that aren't our teachers have shown up to our summer staff development academies, where we offer all kinds of a full range of topics. We're, you know, obviously known for our Google stuff, but we offer week-long kind of things for our teachers and for teachers from outside to come in and see what we're doing here. And those are all led by our staff. Okay, so as I said, teachers, leading teachers, not only here within the district, but beyond. And then one of the most exciting things that we've built towards over the last few years is this idea of coaching. In every one of our buildings, we have 4 instructional coaches at the building level. They teach half the day and they coach for half the day. We have actually a couple of them in the room today that are also helping us present. And then in each department, every department has a coach that gets a small monetary stipend to help out and kind of be a matchmaker, try to connect people to resources that they need. And we've been really focused on building this over the last bunch of years. When I got here, we started with technology coaches. Over those years, we no longer have a technology coach. We only have instructional coaches in place because technology is part of instruction. It's not a separate piece. It's part of the whole environment. So all of our instructional coaches can help you with technology-related things or know who to connect you to that can help you with those tech-related things. We don't separate one from the other at all. Okay, it's all about good teaching and instruction. Technology is a tool that helps us do that. It's not a separate thing from it. And we really model that here in how we do things. Every one of our teachers has a coaching plan that fits into one of 4 models that we have listed up there. And I can provide you links if you're interested in those later. But every one of our certified staff members is working on improving their craft and is paired up with a coach in some way or another where they are working with another person in a team to improve what they do. So let's tie this back to the Google tools and why you're here today. Okay, because really what I think all of this builds around, if you went back to the very small print you couldn't see where it talked about what our vision was, it's tightly tied to collaboration. Okay, coaching plans tied to collaboration. All of these things that we're doing are tied to collaboration, people working together closely. And what we have found here, and what I strongly believe, is that collaboration happens because of people, right? I don't care what tool you bring in, you need people to make collaboration work, and people that are willing to collaborate and work together. But tools make that sustainable. They make the investment of time and effort low enough to the fact that that collaboration can happen. A lot of the things that we do around here with PLCs and assessment and coaching and planning and building things all happens within the Google suite of tools. There's many times that I'm in some kind of a meeting or we're doing something or building a project where somebody will say, how would we have ever done this before we had Google? You know, how would we have done this before we had this set of tools? It's so become encapsulated in how we do business here. And let me explain that kind of story. So going Google with us started in 2007. Okay, we were the first K-12 school district in the world to formally go Google with the entire Google suite and ecosystem that was there. What you can see here in this picture, and actually there's a link to the original memo. It's kind of funny to look at because it outlines all of the tools that Google will give us, and it has all the icons, and they're all old looking. You know, 7 years ago, old looking. But we started this set of tools in changing our ecosystem. Really where it started, I'll give you the quick overview. It started with our kids. We started with Google Apps for Education here so that our kids would have a better email system. And better is the key word here because they had already had email here for like 10 years before I got here. Okay, so we were already on this long path to students using these tools with our teachers and in our classrooms. So we replaced an old email system with a new one, which was Google Apps, Gmail. And along with it came a couple of other tools at the time, Calendar, Documents, and Spreadsheets. That was the entire Google Apps suite in 2007. So it was Mail, Calendar, Docs, Spreadsheets. That was it. But it was like, hey, we could turn on these tools for free for our kids and let's see what happens. We'll see if it works. We didn't even know at the time if it was going to stick around, if it was going to be worth anything, but we figured it's free. What could it hurt? Well, all of a sudden, like a year later, our teachers are coming to me saying, how come the kids have a better email system than we do? And how come they have all of these tools and we don't? How come I have to sign up for a personal account to use Google tools with my kids? So it was really this push in our classrooms for adopting it whole scale. And within a year and a half, we were all Google all the time for everything we did. Okay, so by the middle of 2009, that was the tool set that we used for everything. So let's talk about what we learned from at least from where I sit, what I think we as an organization have learned from going Google, and just using these types of tools in everything that we do. Okay, so that's what I hope that are your takeaways out of this, because I'm assuming all of you are at some point in this path in using a variety of different tools in your setting. Okay, and a lot of them tie back to tech. So here's the takeaways that I can give you from Maine 207. It causes stress. Okay, anytime you're causing change, you're causing stress. And I cause my teachers a lot of stress. Okay, you can ask any of them in the room. As a result of change, things that we put in place that long-term vision we believe is going to improve the environment and the capacity for good teaching and learning, lead to our mission to improve learning, the first steps are hard. And they're messy, and they're uncomfortable, and they are very stressful sometimes on our teaching staff. This is why I continue to say I have the best group of teachers in any school district, because they just let us do this stuff. They're willing to hop in and try and do it. And eventually, once you move past the stressful phase, you need to get to a point where it is so simple that anybody can use it. It's as easy to use as the chalkboard. With many of our technology platforms, we're still on our way to getting there. The nice thing is that the Google tools, most of them out of the box, are that way. And that's why we've been able to adopt those so quickly and so strongly into what we do. Clicks matter. Okay, I have learned when I start comparing the Google tools to the other tools we use, that the number of clicks that somebody has to do anything really matters. That clicking is equivalent to work. And this is the reason why it's equivalent to work. Every time somebody has to stop to think to where they click, it breaks flow. If you look at brain research and how brains work, every time you have to stop what you're doing to think to do the next thing, you stop that flow, that brain work that's just happening naturally, where you're in that state of creativity. If you have to stop to think to click, you broke it. So anytime that you can reduce the number of clicks, the better, which is why I hate the new drive. Anyway. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So this is the other thing I've learned over the years. This is an old phrase that my grandfather used to use. Okay, my grandfather was a fisherman, and I used to talk about going out and buying lures and fishing and whatever. And his famous saying for that was that lures are designed to catch fishermen, not fish. In other words, when you go to the store to pick out a fishing lure, the ones that sell the best are the ones that people are attracted to. People are not attracted to the same thing that fish are attracted to. Okay? The same thing goes with technology. That technology tool that somebody is selling you is designed a lot of times to catch teachers, not to catch students. Okay? The nice thing about what we've done here with Google in our classroom is that tool has worked for both teachers and students. Okay, so be very careful, be very focused when you're looking at technology and tools. What is the goal of that? Who are you trying to hook with that tool? Okay, a lot of times it's the adults making the decisions for what the kids are going to actually be using. Sharing is way more important than you think, and that is one of the key takeaways that we've discovered with the Google tools over all these years. A document is a document is a document. But when everybody can be in it at the same time and see it working, now it's something different. And that key piece is around sharing and how easily you can make that happen for your kids and your teachers. That's why here we've invested in tools that make sharing easier, things like Hapara, where we can push out documents very quickly in the Google ecosystem. We spend a lot of time on sharing and making it easy, and it's super, super important in the world that we're working in now. I think that this is another thing that we need to consider, is that you need to try to live wherever you're going to put your kids. Or if you're in my role, wherever you're going to put your teachers and kids. So this is my desk, and what you'll see is a whole bunch of Chrome stuff on my desk. Our students here are one-to-one with Chromebooks. A full year before, even more than a year, before our students were one-to-one Chromebooks, that's how I was living every day. I put the Windows desktop and PC off to the side, and all I did was work in Chrome. And that's how I continue to work today. I hate it when I have to start up a Windows machine, okay? Because I'm all Chrome all the time. I don't think we should ever ask a kid to do something that we at least couldn't try to do first. The kids might more quickly than us become experts at it, but we better be willing to swim in that pool before we put kids there. And the same thing goes for us working with our teachers. Before I ever ask my staff to live in some environment, I live there first. Okay, so proving it is living it. So if you're going to do something with your kids, you're going to put them one-to-one iPads, you're going to put them one-to-one Chromebooks, you're going to go Google with everything you do. Have you lived that way for a week, for a month, for a year before you put your kids there? But eventually all of those changes kind of grow in, all those little bumps that happen, and it becomes the way that you work. So the way that we work around here is Google. We've been that way, as I said, since 2009. If tomorrow I said to everybody in the district, oh, we're getting rid of Google, we're going to do this next great best thing, I would be run out into the middle of D Road there and run over, okay? Because it's been integrated into the way that we do business. Where at the beginning it might have been bumpy and rough with a variety of different things, the change now would be even tougher, okay? Because it's become part of the way that we do business because of the way that we can collaborate using these tools. So you're going to see today, actually, all but one of the presenters in the breakout sessions that we're going to go to today are 207 staff. Okay, they're the teachers here showing you how they use these tools in their classrooms or in administrative spaces. So we're at a spot where not only are we using, we're sharing. This is how we do things and get work done. Okay. So a lot of times when I've talked about Google, I get the result that, oh, well, that's too good to be true. This is one of those things that actually, it was too good to be true, you know, that we were going to have this free and that we we're going to be able to give it to all our kids and to all of our teachers. And it sounded too good to be true, and it is too good to be true, but it's true. And it has really made a difference, as I said, in how we do things. And it's awesome to have a partner like Google that continues to get what we do. And the fact, like, I don't know if you've heard, but Drive for teachers and students, unlimited space pretty soon going forward. As much stuff as you want to put in it in the cloud. And that, I can't sustain that for my teachers. Like, I can't build network storage so that teachers can put whatever they want in it. But Google's going to give that to us for free. Okay, so it's nice to be with a group that gets it and listens to teachers. I sit on a group with Google that's their advisory council. So every 2 weeks, I actually have a vehicle to talk to Google and share with them everything that I hear from other schools that they want, that they'd like to see, the changes that they'd like to have. And they listen to us and make changes based on that. Google Classroom is a result of that. Is a result of that group telling Google, look, sharing's too hard, especially for little kids. You gotta got to make it easier. And out of that came Google Classroom. So it's nice to have a partner in education that way. And then the final thing I would leave you with is if you're in a school district that gets it, it's your responsibility to help other school districts get it. They are all our kids. When a school district calls us and needs help getting started with Google, we help them. We set aside time, we help them get up, get going, get in the direction that they need to. A whole bunch of our teachers are here sharing tonight. It is our professional responsibility. When you figure out something that works with kids, you have to share. Unfortunately with Google, because it is too good to be true, there is a lot of fear and distrust around the Google tools in educational settings. So that is the biggest thing that is going to be your challenge in using these things when you go back to wherever you're at. Because obviously if it's free, there's got to be a catch. There's no catch. Okay, so make sure that you're living up to your professional responsibilities leading out of this as you go forward. The last thing I want to focus in on is how Google has changed the kids. Okay, so I want to go beyond the adults and quickly talk about this before we break into sessions. I have like 1 minute left. One of the things that's been hugely important for us here is we've gone one-to-one, and even before that are our student tech leaders. We've had a program here for about 5 years started as the Tech Genius program, where it was a student-run help desk. Teachers or students could come by a location in the school and get help with anything tech-related. Once we went one-to-one, the Tech Genius students started working in what we call the Chrome Depot. South Chrome Depot is right behind us over here in the corner. And those students help any student or staff member with tech issues that they may have, and they repair any broken device. So in our schools, we have between 50 and 60 students in each of our 3 schools that do all of our repairs and help with training and help with kids and teachers and whatever. They are our level 1 help desk. It's funny when you talk to them about what's the one thing that you learned is that teachers get frustrated easily. Every single one of the kids tells me that. Wow, you wouldn't believe how frustrated teachers are when they walk in here. Yeah, I would guess that. So we have those kids. They're the ones that train all of our kids. They're the ones that do the Chromebook rollouts every summer. So the tech staff inventory and hand a device to the kid. A kid sits down with another kid and gets them started. And they run all of that here. I have more kids on our tech staff than adults. Okay, and they are awesome. We actually have several tech staff members that started, two tech staff members that started as tech geniuses that went away to college and came back as college interns and are now full-time tech staff members. Okay, so this is real stuff for kids. Last year I had a kid say, was in a session like this with adults over at Maine East, and one of the adults that was in the audience asked the kid, you know, what is this meant for you, or you know, why is this? And he said, you know, this is the only time in my high school career that I feel that I have done something of value, where not only have I given back to my peers, but I have something that people will pay me money to do. I am walking out of here with the skills that people will pay for. So but that all starts from the changes we started to make with these tools. This also is passed into our classroom. You'll hear some of that from our teachers today. And what I'm going to share with you, here's the information, how you get in touch with me. We're going to break out in a second. But I'm going to pop up in here and hit play. This is an example. Our kids are actually racing each other to see who can repair Chromebook screens the fastest amongst the 3 buildings. So I'm going to hit play. This is a kid replacing a Chromebook screen in under 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay?